Hello. Hello. Everything's running so slow today. This is Christian Codes. I'm coding every day until I become a web developer. I had the music going. Everything was fine. Well, alrighty. Oh God. And oh my God. That was a sneeze. Even Malachi's looking at me like, oh my God, that was a sneeze. That was a sneeze, y'all. Let's see if we can put on some Christmas music. Some Christmas music. Ugh. So we got our history. YouTube is running slow. Oh wow. Okay. Okay. Hopefully that runs and things don't go crazy. Either way, welcome to the Christmas stream. We are here today, gathered today to code and better ourselves. I had a wonderful Christmas Eve and a wonderful Christmas. My Christmas was filled with rest. I'm now balder than I was before. Um, and I feel wonderful. My scalp is breathing. Um, Let me send out the obligatory text messages so people know that I am here and I am alive. YouTube is running slow today. I see. So, how's everybody? How's everybody doing? Is everybody feeling good? Let me share this with my friends and family. With my friends and family, so they know that I'm here in the great state of Texas. I hope y'all had a wonderful Christmas, filled with joy and laughter and amazement. My Christmas was good. Nothing went crazy. Everything was great. Everything was good. Everything was good. Everything was good. It was great. Um, so what shall we do today? Uh, well, yesterday we were trying to do some. Oh, I should tell how my Christmas went. My Christmas Eve. The Christmas Eve party was great. We played games. We did a lot of fun games. Um, and I drank a little, just a little bit. Chilled with the dog. Played card games. Won a lot of stuff. Gave away a lot of stuff. I won a lot of things, but then I gave away a lot of things too. Uh, so yeah, it was great. It was a great time. Great time. All right, let's see. So what I'm gonna do today? I think the other day was I using Gemini or was I using Chat GPT? Either way, it's a new day. I don't think I'm the Christmas Eve 2025 programming thing was a cool idea if it would have happened, but it didn't. So we're just gonna move on with our lives. All right. So what I'm gonna do today is number one. Let's see if we're still logged into. And the internet is interneting today. Maybe it's just my computer. I think it's just my computer. Something ain't right. Hello, Mystic Axo 1384. Man, the internet is running slow, man. It's like every website I try to open it just says no. Let me try to reopen some of this stuff. Is this the same thing happening in Chrome? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, all we need is 144p. Man, I'm chilling. About to start coding and stuff. How was your Christmas? Wow, everything is so slow. Hmm. Google's working fine, but everything else is slow. It is slow. Ugh. I'm glad you're doing good. I'm just chilling with the dog. He's down here doing this thing, being a sleepy dog. I can't say his name right now, because if I say his name, his ears will go up and he'll be like, "What you trying to do?" Oh, this says PowerShell. Dang, I can't log into anything. I think it's just this library. That's it. Let me log in so we can move on with our lives. Please. I think we're supposed to learn. This is the null coalescing operator or something like that. Let's see. Oh crap. I think it's called the null coalescing operator. In JavaScript. So let's see what that is about. Ugh.
JavaScript allows you to set a default for something if it doesn't exist. Okay, so let's have a look at a really quick example right here. If I was to say console.log 0 or 1, as you may know, this right here is going to
It's
output
gonna
1
true or
in the
false,
console
or
because
false or
for
true.
this logical OR here, this double
So
pipe
falsy.
character, if the left side is falsy, it's going to return the right side. So if I was to say node index.js, run this script here, we of course get 1 in the console. Okay, now let's change this to instead be a double question mark. This here is the null list coalescing operator. If I save this, run the script again, we can see this time we get 0 in the console. That's because the null list coalescing operator is going to only return the right side if the left side is null or undefined. That's different, of course, to the pipe, which checks for falsy. That's the key thing there, right? Because the coalescing operator is better. If I save this, run the script again, we can see this time we get 0 in the console. That's because the nullish coalescing operator is going to only return the right side if the left side is null or undefined. That's different, of course, to the pipe, which checks for falsy. That's the key thing there, right? Because falsy values include 0 and false and empty string and so on. But of course, nullish coalescing keeps your falses and your zeros and your empty strings. Let's have a look at a better example with a real life situation. Okay, this code here is for a game, all right? This here is the game config. The user is able to set up some defaults or some configuration before starting the game. In this case, they're saying the starting coins for a character or a player is going to be 2,000 coins, okay? Now, when you then build the character or the player object, you set their coins based on the starting configuration, the starting coins. But we're saying here, look, if the user hasn't provided a starting coin amount, then we're going to default to 1,000. Fair enough. If I was to run this script here, we can see we of course get 2,000 coins in the console because it's taking that from here. We have 2,000, so this logical OR is not going to use the default of 1,000. But what if I was to say 0 starting coins? Run the script again, we get 1,000. So this time we don't get the starting coins because of course, in this case here, we're saying 0 or 1,000. Let's make this nullish coalescing instead now. We can see that, of course, the bug has been fixed and we get 0 starting coins. That is the intention from this code here. If you were to get rid of the coins completely, try again, we get 1,000. That's perfect. Or even to say null, okay, it's still going to, of course, pick the 1,000 because, again, nullish coalescing works on undefined or null. And that is all for this video. If this one helped you out, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to Decode. And here is another video.
Man, okay, I might have to. Programming on Christmas is crazy. Okay, let's look what he says at the spread operator, because that's another thing.
Hey everybody, today I'm going to explain the spread operator in JavaScript. The spread operator is represented by 3 dots. The spread operator allows an iterable, such as an array or string, to be expanded into separate elements. What this does is unpack the elements. Here's an example. Let's create an array of numbers. Pick some numbers. I'll just pick 1 through 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then just to test this, let's
he's pretty good.
Log my array numbers. In this array, what if I would like to find the greatest value? Well, one way in which I could do that is let's declare a maximum. Let maximum, this is going to be a variable, equals, I will use the max method of math. What would happen if I place our array within this method? Then I will display our maximum. So we have not a number. Using the max method, we can't place an array directly within this method. However, by utilizing the spread operator, we can spread this array into different elements. So we will precede this array with the spread operator. we are going to unpack the elements. Now if I run this program again, we have our result of 5.
What?
When you use the spread operator, imagine that you're opening a box and taking out all the contents inside, like you're unpacking something. Let's find the minimum this time. Let minimum
Drop us up. Thanks, man. I appreciate you.
.min. We will pass our array of numbers, then use the spread operator to spread our array into different elements. What is the minimum value from this array? That would be 1. You can also do this with strings too. You can separate a string into different characters. Let's create a username. Equals, type your name. First name and last name. I will create an array named letters. Letters equals, we'll create a new array. Let's take our username, it's a string, and use the spread operator. Then I will display our letters. Console.log letters. And here's my name, divided into different characters. What we have is an array of characters. With my array of characters, I can join them back together and insert characters between each element. I will method chain the join method after our array. We'll add a dash between each character. So now my username is all one string, but there's a dash between each character. Okay, now this time we're going to create an array of fruits. We'll make a shallow copy of an array using the spread operator. Add some fruit. I'll add an apple, an orange, and a banana. Then I will console.log my fruits. I can create a shallow copy of this array using the spread operator. A shallow copy means it's a different data structure, but it contains identical values. I'll create a copy of fruits named new fruits equals an array. Let's take our fruits array, then use the spread operator. Let's display new fruits, and it should be an identical copy. Yep, there's no apparent change. We have 2 different arrays, but they contain identical elements. We can combine 2 or more arrays using the spread operator. Let's create an array of vegetables. Let's add some carrots, celery, potatoes. I'll rename new fruits as foods. Let's add our array of fruits, we're spreading it, comma, then we will spread our vegetables array. Then we will display our array foods. This array contains all of the elements from these 2 arrays, fruits and vegetables. We can use the spread operator to combine arrays. We even have the capability to append separate elements along with unpacking these arrays. I will also add eggs and milk. We have all of the elements from our 2 arrays, plus a few extras, eggs and milk. Alright everybody, so that's the spread operator. It's 3 dots. It allows an iterable, such as an array or string, to be expanded into separate elements. And well everybody, that is the spread operator.
Okay, so that's the spread. So, but that differs from the rest, right?
Hey, what's going on everybody? Today I'm going to explain REST parameters in JavaScript. REST parameters is a parameter prefixed with 3 dots. They allow a function to work with a variable number of arguments by bundling them into an array. It's very similar to the spread operator, which we talked about in the last video. The spread operator expands an array into separate elements. REST parameters do the opposite. They bundle separate elements into an array. Spread will spread an array into separate elements. REST parameters will bundle separate elements into an array. It effectively does the opposite. How could REST parameters be useful? Let me give you an example. Say we have a bunch of different food. Const food1 equals pizza. We'll create a few different food variables. Let's start with 4. Food1, food2, food3, food4. We have pizza, hamburger, hot dog, and sushi. I'm going to create a function that uses REST parameters. It's going to output all food that I send it. We'll pretend that we're opening a fridge. Imagine that all of this food is in a fridge. Open fridge. Fridge short for refrigerator. To use rest parameters, I need 3 dots. We're gonna stick all of this food into an array. But what should the array name be? Let's say foods. That's descriptive. Then I'm going to console.log my array of foods. Now I'm gonna call this function openFridge or refrigerator. To use rest parameters, I need 3 dots. We're gonna stick all of this food into an array. But what should the array name be? Let's say foods. That's descriptive. Then I'm going to console.log my array of foods. Now I'm gonna call this function openFridge. I will send this function a variable number of arguments. This method is going to display an array. We have food 1, pizza, food 2, hamburger. Hamburger is also within our array. Food 3, hot dog. Food 4, sushi. Let me add one more food. Let's add ramen. Food 5 will be ramen. Then I will add food 5. You can see that I can send this function any...
Okay.
Hey everybody, today I'm gonna explain...
So I know I've been using spread correctly, but I did not know that when you use spread, you could actually, like, let me see, math.max. So let me understand something. So if I have a say let numbers equal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I CLG numbers. I get that array. But if I say I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So why don't I do can I do expression expected? Okay, so I can't do that. So what is it, just displaying each one individually? That's it? Okay. Hold up. I can't mix types in arrays, right? Oh yeah, I can. Okay. But if I just did numbers, okay. Okay. So, So what they're saying is that I could say function add numbers, and then I could say digits, right? Then I could say CLG digits, something like that. Let's see. So if I do function, if I do add numbers, and I put numbers, We'll get there. I'm doing it in the order of a course that I have. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. I see. Merry Christmas. Hmm. Oh yeah, usually I play rain sounds in the back. Hmm. Okay, so I understand. I wonder what happens if I put less. Um. Hmm. Hmm. if y'all want to post code snippets, hold on, let me, because we have a whole channel on our Discord for posting code snippets. So here. So yeah, like if y'all want to post code snippets, you go to the code snippets channel and then you do a little explanation and then you can post a code snippet. See, we post code snippets here. If you want to explain something. And then just tell me to check the code snippets.
Then just to test this, let's console.log my array numbers. In this array, what if I would like to find the greatest value? Well, one way in which I could do that is let's declare a maximum. Let maximum, this is going to be a variable, equals, I'll add an app. Yep, there's no apparent change. This array contains all of the elements from these two arrays, fruits and vegetables.
Okay. All right.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today I'm going to explain REST parameters in JavaScript. REST parameters is a parameter prefixed with...
Spread expands an array into separate elements. Expands an array into... Hey, what's up? C24E4S. Expands an array into separate element. And then REST bundles separate elements into an array.
With 3 dots. They allow a function to work with a variable number of arguments by bundling them into an array. It's very similar to the spread operator, which we talked about in the
Hey.
last video. The spread operator expands an array into separate elements. REST parameters do the opposite. They bundle separate elements into an array.
Okay.
Spread will spread an array into separate elements. REST parameters will bundle separate elements into an array. It effectively does the opposite. How could REST parameters be useful? Let me give you an example. Say we have a bunch of different food. Const food1 equals pizza. We'll create a few different food variables. Let's start with 4. Food 1, food 2, food 3, food 4. We have pizza, hamburger, hot dog, and sushi. I'm going to create a function that uses REST parameters. It's going to output all food that I send it. We'll pretend that we're opening a fridge. Imagine that all of this food is in a fridge. Open fridge. Fridge short for refrigerator. To use REST parameters, I need 3 dots. We're going to stick all of this food into an array. But what should the array name be? Let's say foods. That's descriptive. Then I'm going to console.log my array of foods. Now I'm going to call this function open fridge. I will send this function a variable number of arguments. This method is going to display an array. We have food 1, pizza, food 2, hamburger. Hamburger is also within our array. Food 3, hot dog. Food 4, sushi. Let me add one more food. Let's add ramen. Food 5 will be ramen. Then I will add food 5. You can see that I can send this function any number of arguments that I would like. This function is designed to
when you post a code snippet, in Discord, you like gotta put these character single line code stuffs around them. And I don't know, so let me tell you how this usually goes. So we got to try to stay on subject. So right now I'm learning the REST operator. While there are other things that could be learned, right now we're going to focus on the REST operator or the spread operator. So there are other ways to do things, you're right. How do we edit this? Yeah, make sure it's in a nice code snippet format.
accept any number of arguments. I could combine this function with the spread operator. When I'm displaying my foods array, all of these elements are in an array, but I could separate them back into separate elements by using the spread operator, which is the same 3 dots as the rest parameters. Rest parameters are used as parameters. The spread operator is used whenever you have an array, or any sort of collection of something. So now when I combine the rest parameters and the spread operator, I can display all of my separate elements. You can even use rest parameters to stick all elements within an array. So this time I'm going to create a separate function to get food. We will use rest parameters. Our array name will be foods. All we're going to do is return foods. Take all of these separate elements, stick them within an array, then return that array. So I'm going to create a new array, const foods. Food 3, hot dog, food 4, sushi. Let me add one more food. Let's add ramen. Food 5 will be ramen. Then I will add food 5. You can see that I can send this function any number of arguments that I would like. This function is designed to accept any number of arguments. I could combine this function with the spread operator. When I'm displaying my foods array, all of these elements are in an array, but I could separate them back into separate elements by using the spread operator, which is the same 3 dots as the rest parameters. Rest parameters are used as parameters. The spread operator is used whenever you have an array, or any sort of collection of something. So now when I combine the rest parameters and the spread operator, I can display all of these elements are in an array, but I could separate them back into separate elements by using the spread operator, which is the same 3 dots as the rest parameters. Rest parameters are used as parameters. The spread operator is used whenever you have an array, or any sort of collection of something. So now when I combine the rest parameters and the spread operator, I can display all of my separate elements. You can even use rest parameters to stick all elements within an array. So this time I'm going to create a separate function to get food. We will use rest parameters. Our array name will be foods. All we're going to do is return foods.
You said JavaScript info. What is that? Is that a page? Is that a YouTube channel?
All of these separate elements, stick them within an array.
Okay, so we're gonna bundle these, put them in an array, and then we're going to return that array.
Then return that array. So I'm going to create a new array, const foods.
Hmm.
Equals, call our get food method, pass in.
You can go to my GitHub, and that'll show you how long I've been like since the first green box. That's how long I've been doing this. Go to my GitHub. GitHub should be it's at Kristen Codes. It's the same thing as mine. It should be in the description.
A variable amount of arguments. Let's pass in food 1, food 2, food 3, food 4, and food 5. And then we got to display it. Console.log, myArray, foods. So that's how the rest parameters can be used to combine elements and bundle them into an array. Then if you want, you can return the array or do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
Let's go over a second example. We'll create a method to sum a bunch of numbers together. Function sum.
Let me try to do that myself. So if I'm doing it based on what he's telling me, let's just do const. All of that time hasn't been spent on JavaScript though. Const sum numbers equals so why don't we, and so what they're saying is that I use Udemy. I'm gonna have to start writing these things down in the description. I use a combination of Udemy and Front End Mentor. Let's see. Let's check out Code Wars. When the Code Wars website is going slow. My internet is going slow for some reason. I don't know why. I have no idea. I want to see an example of JavaScript Code Wars.
This one's level 8, and we're doing it in JavaScript, so I'm starting a new...
No, I'm not in the industry.
So this one we are going to convert a number to a reversed array of digits. So here we have a number, 35231, and then we flip it into an array. So our first trick here is I think we want to turn this into a string. And then we'll take that string and chop it up into characters. This one is a level 8. We're doing it in JavaScript. It's called Count by X. There will be a link to the challenge in the show notes. Definitely try it out before watching the video. And if you're not subscribed, please do so. That keeps you updated every time I post a new one. So with that, let's see what we got to do here. So we're going to write a function with 2 arguments that will return an array of the first in multiples of x. Okay, let's see some examples. This is always anytime it gets confusing like that. Let's see.
All right.
We will use rest parameters so we can
Hello,
accept
Amelie
any
Strike
arguments.
4031.
Our array name will be numbers.
So if you have resources that you recommend, you can go to the Discord and we got a resources part, and you could like put whatever resource you think is good there. And then if you have, hey John, oh John, hello. I woke up Malachi yelling, hey John, how are you? How are you doing? Hold up, no, John. Hold up. I thought you meant Josh. Hold up. You're not Josh, are you? John? Klein. Klein, we ain't running around the house today. Go ahead. Lay down. Good luck. I stay away from YouTube videos since you can absorb content a lot faster with just text. Try to learn niche things like 3JS, etc. Merry Christmas. Oh, okay. Hey, John. I thought you were Josh. My bad. Josh makes some really good stuff, man. Josh is a professional. I don't have a link to his stuff, but man, this dude right here makes some good stuff. He's a professional. All right.
What we'll do within this method is have a result.
I'm gonna create a channel in our Discord called, let's see, we got resources, we got projects, we got resources, we got code snippets. I'm going to make a new one called advice. I'm going to create one called advice. So you can put advice in the advice channel. It's the pinned message at the top. It should be at the top, right? It should be at the top. So we got advice, we got projects, we got resources, we got code snippets. How many jobs did you apply to every day? I will soon start 34 projects on junior JavaScript and we'll be doing a lot of Dom thing. That's cool. I mean, you're on the right track. If you want to go and get into tech, got to niche down on the framework, but do start with fundamentals. I appreciate that. You can add that to the advice channel too. I am a Python backend developer now, but I look up learning front end. That's cool. Amelie Strike. I wish you all the best, brother. I am on the same journey as you. Thank you, Antonio. Don't mind me. I'm old. I'm old too. Oh, I'm not old. Nobody's really old if you really look at it relatively. I'd stay away from YouTube videos since you can absorb content a lot faster with just text. Try to learn niche things like 3JS, etc. That's interesting because the guy that I just showed, Josh does a lot of 3JS stuff. What job am I working on right now? I'm not working on a job. I was just reviewing some stuff.
Result equals 0.
So I'm in a course, but unfortunately I can't bring the course up because for some reason these websites are running slow. I don't know what's going on today. I don't know if it's because it's Christmas, maybe everybody's on the internet or something, and you know, the bandwidth, I have no idea. But I'm able to stream though, so I'll show y'all what course I'm using. Hold on. I can show y'all what course I'm using. Hold on. Jonas, how you spell his name, man? AWS stuff again. So I'm doing a course by this guy right here. Let's force dark mode because my God. Okay. So by this guy right here, and he has a, if it'll load, you see everything's loading so slow today. So I got this course right here, but for some reason I'm not really able to log into my Udemy through the, I don't I don't want to learn framework. I think that fundamentals are so important. So many people just push frameworks. I think it's bad because you need strong fundamentals first. At least I don't want to debug 5 hours small problem. Hold on, let me see if I can get into Jonas's course. Yeah, make sure y'all. Oh, is this my? Yeah, make sure y'all join the Discord and make sure you, brother. I need to talk to you so badly. So I'm an undergrad psych major, and of course, brother, I was getting my graduate degree in counseling, and I decided to stop 5 classes away from graduating. So, um, I think the psych major is awesome as long as you get the master's part of it. So I learned a lot in my counseling graduate program. Okay, so anyway, this is one of the courses I'm using. I did some of this. I might do this. I don't know. So I know I'm gonna do this, the crash course this right here. Anyway, but usually fundamentals are everything since popular frameworks changes a lot, knowing how frameworks differ. So usually what we do on the stream, I'll show y'all. And if y'all look at my other videos, because I stream every day. So if y'all look at my other videos, I use this site called Front End Mentor. This is like basically my start. Because I did not want to learn in theory. I want to learn by doing practice. So hold on, let me go to my profile. You can go to my Front End Mentor profile and you'll see all the things that I finished. It's not as many as other people, but it's where I started. I started out with this. I started out with a responsive QR code. What's good? What's good? What's good, FFG Flash? So, yeah. Hold on, let me see if because every time you come up in here, I get you confused with somebody else. Hold on, FFG. Hold on, resources. So hold on, whoa. You're not Taylor. Hold on, are you Taylor? Hold on, are you? Hold on. FFG, are you? I'm getting confused because I know it's Taylor. I wonder, can I put a note next to your name? Okay, yeah. Okay. Let me see if I can put a note next to your name. Timeout. Hold on, maybe I could put a note. Nah, dang. I'll just have to remember. I just have to try to remember. Taylor. Remember. So Taylor, what we're doing, and I thought of starting to get into tech as well. Where do I start? What all do I need to do? Because they say learn this, and then that. On top of that, there are a million languages. I think that you should Google it. I know that sounds kind of ridiculous, but eventually, the more you Google, it's like on some fuck around and find out type shit. You're gonna fuck around enough, and you will find out. And I fucked around enough, and I found out. So, again, really think about it. You know, fuck around and find out. So Taylor, what we're doing today, hold on, when you know how the stuff works, you can pick up my any framework. So you are right to a certain extent, but I would strongly recommend starting with one thing and focusing on. Since 2 days, I am fucking around only. That's okay because eventually there's a chart, right? There's a chart for fucking around and finding out. Let's see. There should be a chart, right? Yeah. Here's the chart. Here's the guy. It'll open the image. Okay, so yeah, there you go. So on the x-axis we have find out, and on the y-axis, hold on. No, on the y-axis we have find out, and on the x-axis we have fuck around. So the more you fuck around, right, the more you're gonna end up finding out. That's the great thing about it. You gotta fuck around some more. And the more you find out, the more you're gonna fuck around. And the more you fuck around, the more you're gonna find out. Okay, I don't want to bum you out. To get into tech, it requires a ton of effort. Don't trust any learn to code in 1 year video. Yeah, you gotta fuck around. That's why you'll see me like I'm going into this. I watch so many videos with Google, it's crazy. Well, you're gonna have to pick something. You're gonna have to pick something. And what you need is nothing that I can give you. There's nothing I can say right now, right? That is going to really make you make the decision to hunker down and choose a path and say, okay, I'm going to learn this, and I'm going to learn this well. That comes from within. You got to find that within yourself to say, okay, I'm going to figure out a path. And if you want it, there's a lot of information out there. If you want to know something, if you want to figure out something, if you want to be something, you will find a way. There's so many paths. You will find a way. And there's a lot of people. No, I meant you are starting new as well. So I wanted to know what you picked first. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. It don't matter what I pick first. You know, I feel this way. I feel how you feel when I ask other people. First, learn fundamentals. Choose a lower level language like C++, Java, master it. Many people say they want it, but they don't want to put up the work. Learn DSA, OS, data. All right. See, you see how? So now I understand. Now I get what you were saying, but then the people just kind of like made your point by giving you all these different answers. HTML, CSS, JavaScript. HTML, CSS, JavaScript. I was doing JavaScript first, right? And then I didn't like I was doing JavaScript first. Jack Daniels 6830. Don't be trolling people crazy. So I learned JavaScript, right? And then I looked at my JavaScript and I was like, this is ugly. And you can look at my repos. I hit hold up. GitHub. Taylor, I don't want to forget your stuff again. I feel like I need to. I'm still stuck on the fact that I was like, is this Taylor? I don't know. I don't like forgetting people's name. My thing, what I advise is to talk to people who are already actually doing web dev, because there's a lot of opinions online from people who aren't even in the field. Why is my internet so slow today, man? You see that? Y'all see that slow little line right there? You see that? Loading all slow and stuff. Man, that's irritating. All the websites are going. Google is running fast. Either way, man. Let me actually. I think I can go into my repos. Alright, I thought I heard something. So let's see. This was in. Let's see if we go to. I wonder in. So we got 925, 921. 921 was the QR code project. 9/21 was the 30 days, 30 JavaScript projects. Oh yeah, I remember that. So this is where I started. I started with this. And this is actually a dude on GitHub. He has something like this. So if I were you and you're trying to get into web dev, start with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Scrimba has a good course. There's some courses on Udemy that are good by Jonas Smetman. And then I would recommend joining communities and finding people who are actually web developers, whether they be front end or back end, and taking advice from them. I recommend that from people who are knowledgeable, from people who, when you go to their GitHub, you're like, oh shit, to people where you see their portfolio and you're like, oh shit. So, yeah, that's what I recommend. I also recommend going to Front End Mentor. And like I said, I did the challenges here. So I also recommend posting your learning journey. I recommend posting your learning journey. And yeah, man. But you can look at I like this. This reminds me of some of the stuff I did when I was a teenager. Like, I love graffiti and stuff. I got great handwriting, y'all. So I thanks guys in the chat, Kai and y'all. But yeah, man. Okay, so let's see. You should check it. That guy. If you need something easy, to go to LabX and post it in the Discord. Oh, we forgot about one of the best resources. My bad, man. Hold on. This is a nonprofit or open source organization or whatever. They are serious about getting people into web development, and everything they do is free. They got an amazing YouTube channel. You can learn everything right there. Is loading right now. They even, I recommend Free Code Camp. Free Code Camp. I recommend Free Code Camp. And then they have something called the Odin Project. I recommend the Odin Project. Okay? So check out Free Code Camp for real. Okay? All of Free Code Camp is free. Free from top to bottom, free. Okay? So, but the problem with you is not, see, I know since you're beginning, the problem isn't that you don't have the resources. The problem is the actual consistency and the starting. Okay? You need to pick one resource, do that thing every day. Do something every day. That's the main thing. That's the main problem that people have. Anyway, back to, we segued a little bit. We were doing spread operator things. Oh, rest operator, rest parameter.
Let's go over a second example. We'll create a method to sum a bunch of numbers together.
Okay.
Function sum.
Oh yeah, I want to make this function myself. Okay, so from what I understand, when we use the rest operator, that takes the variables and that combines them together. So could I do something like I'll say numbers, and so what that'll do is allow the function to take a variable amount, I believe, and bundle them into an array. And then if I wanted to add all of those together, I could just do like return x plus y plus, I wonder, could I do something like this? Nah. Nah, I don't go into all that. I just stick with the web dev. I stick to the oceans and the valleys that I'm used to. I don't try to get into all that complicated stuff. I understand people say learning a lower level language and learning Linux and learning this and learning that. I'm trying to get into a job and I'm trying to master something. So I'm starting with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And I keep it as simple as that because once you start listening to everybody and they keep telling you to go here and go there, you'll be going in a million different directions. Yeah, don't go into too. Just keep it basic. HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and then once you get a foundation in that, you build up from there. All that complicated stuff that people telling you to do, I'm not trying to say that it's not valuable because it 100% is valuable, but it will put it will take you off the path in a way. It'll put you here and there and here and there instead of just sticking with where you need to go, and it'll take you longer, in my opinion. All right, so let's see. So if I do something like, if I do something like, okay, so the rest operator will bundle it in together into an array, right? Am I understanding that right? So if I did one, two, three, four. No, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do something like this. That's not how that works. Okay, so that worked. I wonder how he's gonna do it.
Stick them within an array, then return that array. Let's go over a second example. We'll create a method to sum a bunch of numbers together. Function sum. We will use rest parameters so we can accept any.
Hold on, Taylor, you got exercises? Hold on now. Man, hold on. Hold on, man. Actually, no, I'm gonna check that out later. I'm getting sidetracked. Y'all giving me too much good stuff today.
What we'll do within this method is have a result. Result
Oh,
equals 0.
the goal of the script is just to add a series of numbers.
Within our result. I'll create a for loop to iterate over our array. For every let number of numbers, take our result plus equals the current number. And
Oh, we did it the same way.
return our result. Now we'll have const total equals invoke our sum function, pass in as many numbers as we would like. Let's start with 1. Oh, then I should probably display the total. Console.log. I'll use a template literal. Your total is, I'll add a placeholder, total. Your total is $1. Let's add a few more arguments. 2, the total is now $3. 3, $6. 4 is 10. 5 is 15. Let's create a function to calculate an average.
Okay, so the whole point was, the whole point of the script was to add some numbers, but I wanted to do it before he did it. And so we did it in a similar way, but he used the for of, and I used the for each. And for of, we went over this the other day. I actually had for of is loop, where you loop values, and for in is where you're looping keys. Very similar to for each. For each is a mixture of both of them. So the goal ended up being the same thing, which is to add a variable amount of numbers. So I could have did this, and I could, and then 10, and then 50, and we get 63 over here. Hold on, let me move this up right here. All right. So yeah, but I think it's cool because I always wondered how do people, like, what if we don't know how many numbers we want, and I think the rest operator syntax, whatever, rest parameters, I think that's real cool. And I need to remember that rest combines things. I'm going to write that in my own words. Rest combines things, combines into arrays, and spread unpacks. Yeah, I want to use pack and unpack. Packs into arrays, unpacks arrays into values. Packs values. You get more stuff like that, like the entire array in the current index with for each, but you can also get the same thing with the for of. That's true. So we up here somewhere we did some stuff. I forgot where it is, but yeah, you're right.
Let's copy our sum function.
The link to the Discord channel is in the pinned message.
Let's name this function get average. All we have to do when
Oh, hold on. I don't want to see that. I wanted to do it myself first. Hold on. What are we doing?
more arguments. 2, the total is now $3. 3, $6. 4 is 10. 5 is 15. Let's create a function to calculate an average.
Let's create a function to calculate an average. So I want const average. What's up, Matt? How's it going, Matt? Hope you had a great Christmas, Matt. Hope you had a great Christmas, Taylor. Equal function. We're gonna say numbers because we want an array. And with that array, we're gonna say let total equal 0, and then we're gonna say let length of numbers equal numbers dot length. Yeah, that's the total length, and that's what we want. And so then we're gonna do numbers dot for each and we're gonna say total plus equal e, and then we're gonna say return total divided by e. No, total divided by length of numbers. And so then we'll do average numbers. Let's do 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Oh. Seven, 6. So we know 2 plus 4 is 6. So it should be 3. Yeah. Oh wow. 2, 4, and 4 is 8, 8, and 10. So 10 divided by. Okay, that makes sense. All right. So let's see what he says.
Let's copy our sum function.
Honestly, we didn't have to do this part right here. We could have said numbers dot length. Yeah.
Let's name this function get average. All we have to do when returning our result to get the average is divide our result by the length of our numbers array, divided by numbers dot length property. That will give you the average. So now, const total equals get the average. Maybe these are test scores. One student got a 75, another got 100, another student has 85, 90, and a 50. Let's console.log the total. The average is 80. Let's go over example 3. You can use the rest parameters to combine strings together. We will create a function to combine strings.
Okay, let's see. So let's see if we want to combine some strings. Let's say I had a string, let string 1 equal I like, and then let string const string, what am I doing? Doesn't matter. Let string 2 equal apples. I like apples. So if I wanted to combine those and it puts them into an array, couldn't I just do it'll take these and it'll put them into an array. I wonder, could I just what would happen if I do that? It'll be 2 arrays. Why would I even want to do that? You know what? Let me just watch what he's gonna do.
We'll send in a title, like Mr., a first name, such as SpongeBob, a last name,
Oh, he's doing it in a function.
SquarePants. He's the third. We still need to make this function though. Const full name equals.
Okay, well then let's try to do that then. Yeah. It's cold in here. All right. So we're gonna do const combine strings equal function. We're gonna have strings. We're gonna say rest strings, and then we are going to okay, so we have the strings. So if they're in an array, So if the strings are in an array and we want to combine those arrays, couldn't we just say let me think. I don't know, could we do something like let current string equal, I don't know, and then we'll do strings that for each and then we do something like current string plus equal E. I feel like this is wrong. And then we're gonna return current string. Combine string I like apples. Hold on, what? Oh. Oh, I did it. Let's see. I use Aura Dark Soft Text. All right, let's see if he did it the same way.
All right, let's work on this function. Function, combine, string. Let's make this plural, strings. We need to use rest parameters. Let's name our array strings. An easy way to do this is to return our array of strings and use the built-in join method to join all of the strings together. But we'll add a space between each string.
See, I didn't know about the join
we
method.
should now have a full name variable that's all of the strings combined. So let's console.log our full name. Mr. SpongeBob SquarePants III. That's one way in which you could use the rest parameters to combine a bunch of strings into one, such as if you're creating a full name. Alright everybody, so those are rest parameters. They allow a function to work with a variable number of arguments by bundling them into an array. It's the opposite of the spread operator. The spread operator expands an array into separate elements. The rest parameters bundle separate elements into an array. And well everybody, those are rest parameters in JavaScript.
Okay, so we got that down. I guess I'll push this right now. Actually, usually what I do after this, we'll just practice it. Is ChatGPT gonna work? Wow, everything is slow today. Everything is slow except for Google. What is going on? Okay. All right, let's see. It only gave me 3. Okay, we'll do 3 then. 1. The basic array merging. It's rare to see people using AI to give them a problem rather than using it to solve it for them. Yeah, if you look at my other things, my other videos, you'll see me doing the same thing. You have 2 arrays representing different categories of grocery items. Create. I wish I could look at your lessons. So, but GitHub is running like extra. Oh, now it wants to. Okay. I'm gonna just leave it over there for now. All right. The task you have, so one is the basics array merging. So we have 2 arrays representing different categories of grocery items. Create a new array. Y'all want to do this with me? Y'all in the Discord? Man, Steven is familiar. Steven, why does this looks familiar? I know this person. I just can't remember from where. I cannot remember from where. But I know this profile picture. Welcome, Jason Momoa. Hello, Jason Momoa. This is William from Singapore. Alright. Alright, let's get into it. Create a new array called old groceries that combine them, but ensure milk is added at the very beginning of the new array. Okay. So we have, okay, so first we need const produce. It's fascinating that your upload speed is perfectly fine, but your download speed is, yeah, that's what I don't understand. It's been like this all day. It's weird. I don't know. It's never happened like this before. And then OBS was acting weird today. I couldn't even download. I don't know, man. All right, so the spread operator unpacks an array. So we want a new array. So we want const old groceries equal. Could I do milk, and then produce, and then dairy? I always get a little anxiety attack when I see that random squiggly line. I'm like, oh no, I know I did it right, and then it clears itself. Like, stop messing with me, scaring me and stuff. An array. So we have an array of milk, apples, bananas, cheese, and yogurt. Bam. Could I do something like, yeah, there we go. So, okay. So we have a new array and then we unpacked it right there. So that's cool. That's dope. So we did that one. That one's completed. 2, shallow copying and updates. shallow copying and updates. The task. You are building a user profile system. You are building a user profile system. Create a function. You are building a user profile system. Create a function. Update email. Username. Email. So let's just go ahead and do that. That returns an object with the updated email while keeping all the other properties like ID and username exactly the same. So we have const user equals ID 101. Username JS_wizard. Okay, Gemini is funny. Email old@example.com. So we have our object. You're building a user profile system. Create a function, update email, that returns a new object with the updated email while keeping all the others. So we're gonna we enter the user, and then we have the new email. Ensure you aren't mutating the original user objects. Oh man. So I wonder, should I say, can I say const new user equals user, hold on, but I'm supposed to use the spread operator, because I was just about to say user dot whatever equals whatever. Super simple. You kind of did it with the last exercise, just with arrays instead of objects. Hint, hint. Super simple. You kind of did it with the last exercise. I can use the spread operator like that, where I'm doing like, hold on, where I'm doing like that. Hold on, we're creating a, but then it's like, okay, so then it's like, do I need to go into new user dot email and say that it equals new email and then return new user? Oh, okay. Because I thought it wanted me to like do some type of one liner where I was updating the email like with this in this some way, and I was like, I don't know how to do that. Okay. Yay. You can do it in one line? My God. I have no idea how to do that. Hold on. We're combining two different things here. So if we do email, hold on. So we can do destructuring and the spread operator. Uh oh. 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 Oh, okay. Oh. Oh. Hmm. Gotcha. Interesting. It's good to know. All right. Thought I heard something. All right. 3. But keep in mind you are creating a new object, not referencing the user object. I still forgetting that after some time. Okay, cool, cool. Handling nested data. Okay, so the task. This is a common real world scenario. Yeah, that was the point of the exercise to shallow clone the object. This is a common real world scenario. You have a game state object. You need to update the score inside the stats object to 100. The catch, because the spread operator only performs a shallow copy, spreading the top level isn't enough to keep the stats object from being mutated by reference. You must spread at both levels. Okay, so let's let's think about this. Const game state equals. We got player. Doesn't clone children of objects. Okay. All right. The task is a common role scenario. You have a game state object. You need to update the score inside the stats object to 100. The catch, because the spread operator, code here, create update state where score is 100. did this yesterday. Why am I not remembering none of this? Hmm. Okay, so I did it, but is there a better way to do this? So could I have just done is that what it wanted? This? I'm confused. Like that? But then I would still have to do stats like that. Is that what you mean? Like this? You know, I think the way I'm thinking about this is not the right way. I need to rethink how I'm thinking about this. This is correct though. Like if I do COG temp state, yeah, that's right. Hold up. Hold on. Score, but it didn't give me health. Oh, you can't have the same key pair values in the object duplicate. All right. Hmm. I think I get it. Let's start over. So, let's see. So we got player level stats. So we just want to update a single state. And so what you're saying is that we would return an object that has all of the game state stuff in it, and then all of the state stuff in it. But why would I need to? So if I just did Hmm. 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 Mm. Okay. I had to really focus. I think I understand now. I had to focus, man. I get it now. I had a I know kung fu moment. Okay. I think we can move on to the next one. Okay, we're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to learn maps and sets. That's a part of the. Yeah, it wants me to use a set. I haven't learned sets yet. Let's go to number five since I haven't learned sets yet. Looks like number five is completely is something I know how to do. Create a function called summarize user that takes an object. Use the structuring with the rest pattern to extract the name into a variable and collect all other properties into a single object called metadata. Okay, so create a function called summarize user that takes an object. Use the structuring with the rest pattern to extract the name into a variable and collect all other properties into a single object called metadata. Okay. Didn't know I could do this right here. That was a guess. I think I disconnected for a second. What the hell? It wants me to be able to console.log name and metadata separately. Oh. I know what I'll do. I know what I'll do. Because we're learning this already. So we got... And we can return... Let me think. So if we... Okay, I got it. If we return... username... And we return... user metadata, and then we say something like name. No. Yeah. We do const name, and we do const metadata, and we say it equals summarize user person. Then we can do but the name isn't working. Is it because it's already taken? I'm gonna say X name. It's still undefined. Oh. Oh, so I would have to do something like Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Now I'm starting to see the advantage of TypeScript. It would tell you right then and there instead of you trying to have to figure it out, I guess. Um. Okay. I think I'm done with that. I mean, the next step. Let's see if I can log into the other website now. Brother, the internet. TypeScript will be written in Go. Let's see if I can get on GitHub on my phone faster. Yep. What's going to happen is I'm going to restart my router. I feel like it might be not time for a new Wi-Fi password. If you know what I mean. If you know what I mean. If you know what I mean. See, my status isn't even coming up. Oh, now it is. This is running slow. See, I don't know what's going on, man. Don't know what's going on. I think I might end the stream right here. I might end the stream right here. I think I did some good studying. I think I was on for almost 3 hours. Oh, that's not running slow. I spoiled it so you wouldn't see it unless you needed help. Huh? See, I clicked repos already. It's still not going to repos. Isn't that crazy? I press repos on my phone and I'm automatically in it. I'm going to have to reset that router. The Discord message, if you click it, it'll unspoil it. Oh. Oh. Okay, yeah, I figured it out. Yay. What do you think about, am I learning like regularly or am I making the same pit like this? I don't seem like, I hope I'm learning in the right way. Like I get kind of insecure about that. Like I hope I hope I'm learning normally, like everybody else is doing. Sometimes I feel like I'm not learning the right way, or I don't know. See, that's a very politically correct way of saying, you know what? As long as you're not vibe coding, you're. That's true. Sometimes I can be very hard on myself. Um, I have to write this long thing out because the repo won't load up. What are you doing with your life, GitHub? Why are you doing this to me? I'm done with you. All right. So it did it that time. Okay. There are definitely harder ways to learn. Okay. As long as I'm doing it the right way, I think I'm making progress. I think I'm making progress. I'm glad I sat there and looked at the screen until I understood why what you were doing was working. That's why I made this second one. Um, this hold on, no. I made this one right here because I was like, okay, if I combine these two, then it'll override C and add D. I think this was something I really didn't understand. Is when you merge those objects together. Come here, Malachi. Let's say hello to people. Come here. Do I use no? I don't use AI to code. I use it to give me word problems to solve. That's what I was doing on the stream today. So you see, I asked Gemini for some word problems, but I don't ask it for answers. Doop, 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 doop. Hmm. Yeah, I'm thinking of doing a big project. I don't know if I'm at the level where I can do a big project. I don't know if I'm there yet. Am I there yet, Malachi? Can I build a big project? Yeah, I'll check it out. You got stuff in your eye, brother. I get that out. Yeah. I don't know if I should jump into a big project or I don't know where I'm at. I don't know if I'm at that stage. Um, I'm open to advice though. No, I don't use React. Yeah, I'm gonna check that out, Taylor. I got my GitHub. You can look at my GitHub. It's not loading for me right now, but it's Kristen Codes. You can go to my GitHub and check some stuff out. Maybe that'll give you a good idea of where I am. You can see my code and stuff. I don't know. I don't know where my JavaScript would be on a scale of 1 to 10. So maybe it is time for a big project. I have no idea. I am a full stack web developer, by the way. Hello, Veralogs, Lags, the full stack developer. We just finished almost 3 hours of. I say it's hard to rate it because your knowledge is all over the place. Not a bad thing. It's just you've been learning a lot of high level concepts and missing some low level concepts. What low level concepts do you think I should start focusing on? I'm again, I'm open to advice and stuff, man. Do you know how to use a for loop? Yes, I know how to use a for loop. You can check out my GitHub repos and you can see some of the stuff I do. Yeah, I am. A firmer grasp on mutability. Okay, I'll look that up and see what that's about and try to see if I could. Yeah, I was working on a Pomodoro project and a Quiz App project. I'm so tired of working on that Quiz App project. If I work on it anymore, I will die. Um, so I think the Pomodoro project is what's going to happen next, and that was the so that's what I'll work on next stream. Bro, I'm gonna tell you, as a beginner, that's one of the hardest questions that people ask beginners. And I know I'm not, and I think the proof of that is when you go on LinkedIn and you see all those people, you see all those people asking, well, what project should I do? And it's like, bro, I don't know. I don't know what would be a good scope. And Malachi's is looking at me like, because he knows I'm speaking the truth. Like, Malachi, I don't know what project I should do, right? I don't know. What project should I do? I have no idea. Most beginners don't know. And it's almost like an open-ended question. L facts, you can bounce ideas off of us. Yeah, but I've been on for almost like 3 hours. In 6 minutes it'll be 3 hours. So I'm winding down right now. I mean, I don't know. I was thinking about creating a project where I have like say you're a apartment complex manager and you need to manage things going on in an apartment. Like you need to know what tenant is there. You need to know like what the utilities are or what the layout is of that particular apartment. Um what is their payment history looking like? Stuff like that. Because I used to work as a leasing consultant. Yeah, I spent a lot of time in HTML and CSS land, especially CSS land. If you don't, I think if you, I don't know if I started recording when I was like doing CSS heavy, but my God, I spent a lot of time in the CSS land. I use Brave on my phone. I like Opera GX. I will not be changing it. I have went through many browsers over my life. CSS land does go deep. That's why I like that guy. What's his name? I'm in his Discord actually. Kevin Powell. I watched so much Kevin Powell in the last few months. He should be the first thing that comes up. Yeah. I watched so many videos. That's one of the things I want to learn again, web components and stuff. Uh, yes, I did a lot of watched a lot of his videos. I stayed on Flex. So the main page for the repo I sent talks about running JavaScript outside the browser so that you can focus solely on JavaScript. Because if you try to do DOM manipulation, you need to learn HTML too. Yeah, I already know HTML and CSS. Yeah, HTML and CSS isn't the problem. Right now, we're tackling JavaScript. Centering divs and putting things on the page and doing all that stuff is not a problem. That is not a problem at all. Okay. HTML and CSS is not the issue at this point. We are now fully. Malachi is like staring at me intently. We are in JavaScript land. Full JavaScript land. If any issues are arising, it is a JavaScript problem at this point. CSS is not the issue. I'm feeling decent about JS, but right now I'm going into the uncharted territories of JS. Like DOM manipulation isn't a problem. Getting stuff on the page, blah blah blah, all that stuff. But now we're going into deeper JavaScript concepts, maps, sets, coalescing operators, soon hoisting, and all theory and a whole bunch of other stuff. I'm trying to do a deeper dive into just the basics. I'm gonna start getting into classes and modules and all that stuff. Somebody asked me, "Sup, dude? Can I ask you why interested in web dev specifically and not other types of development?" I do not know how to answer that question. Web development seems like the most accessible. I trust you can do HTML, but have you mastered following proper HTML and CSS rules for accessibility, minimizing element usage to prevent unnecessary CSS? Yeah, you can look at my repos and even on Front End Mentor, because Front End Mentor, in Front End Mentor, the projects are heavily HTML and CSS focused. Yeah, so the HTML and CSS for accessibility and doing all that stuff, that is not an issue. That's why y'all haven't seen me do as much HTML and CSS. And most of the problems that I have, like you rarely see me complain about HTML or CSS. It's always like, oh, I'm doing some JavaScript stuff. So you can go through these. Like this is my front end mentor, and I've done HTML and CSS in this regard. But I don't think the grid and Flexbox and doing HTML and doing that, I don't think that's that complicated. Even though I do have a video where Next.js for front end plus back end and Tailwind CSS to make your life easier. I will not be using Tailwind CSS. I will not be using Next.js. Things like that don't put block elements in inline elements because it'll make screen readers unhappy. No ARIA for accessibility settings. Things like don't just block it. So again the problem isn't HTML and CSS. Is I'm thinking if I'm going to build something, I need to start building it. I'm never going to have a complete perfect grasp of everything that needs to be done. So I think what's going to happen is maybe I do need to build a project. Yeah, I know. I never said that these projects were going to give me a job. I'm just saying this is what I've done so far. So, it's not that I'm trying to stay away from frameworks. It's just that I think it's important to learn the fundamentals. I think, or those, I think frameworks are okay. I think they'll come in due time. Oh, the rain stopped. Again, I don't think frameworks are bad at all. Like I'm down to learn React, but I don't like the idea of learning React and not knowing most of JavaScript or having a good grasp of it. It seems like that's a problem with people. Like I've seen, like how years ago it was easier to get a front end job, and so there were a lot of people learning React, but then they had to go back and learn JavaScript concepts. You just need the basic, not the whole language, to build projects. With the basics, you can build up mid and advanced concepts. I recommend you go look at my day zero video to get a good grasp of where I am and what I'm trying to do and why I'm doing it. I think if you watch the day zero video, you'll be like, okay, I understand. And that'll put some things into perspective on why I do things to do the way that I do. Yes. Yeah. Um, but sometimes it's difficult for me because I have so much information coming at me, and there's so many. I think that's the problem that a lot of beginners face. Is like it seems like there's no clear path. People have varying ideas. Um, like for example, when we're learning math in school, there's structured projects that help us gradually get to where we need to go. But when it comes to programming, people are just like, what type of project would you like to do? And it's like, what type of project would be worthy? So, so I think one of the hardest things about being a beginner is like, number one, there's so much information. Yeah. So so right now, like okay, I'll be honest with the way that I feel currently. There's a lot of information coming my way. There's a lot of different ideas coming my way. There's a lot of people saying, hey, do this, hey, do that, hey, do this, hey, do that. And then my job as a beginner is to kind of like cipher through that information and try to find the gems and stuff. So it can be kind of troubling. Like, not only am I trying to learn, but I'm also trying to figure out what the correct path is. So I think that's why I try to stay to the idea that learning the fundamentals is never going to be a bad thing. So going through that path and going through that course that I'm going through and building these projects on Front End Mentor seem to be working for me and they keep me going. So I'm probably just going to stick with that until I finish that one course and I finish the Front End Mentor path. And then I think I'll start on React and stuff like that. But I will say that if any of you are trying to because I think mentorship is extremely important. I think one of the issues, and I can only speak from, I'll say that the hardest thing for beginners in this area, and I know I'm not the only one, and I look at Reddit, is the vast amount of information. The vast amount of information, the vast amount of like in most areas, in mathematics, in writing, in history, there's a structured path, right? And there's a structured way to test your understanding. But in when learning programming or web development, it seems like a free for all. It seems like you're just like thrown out there to the wolves and say, "Hey, figure it out." It's on some Darwinism type stuff, and I don't know if that's for the best. I mean, it kind of filters out who's actually interested. I don't know if it's necessarily the best thing when it comes to it being accessible. But I guess it just depends on what the goal of that industry is. I don't know. Again, I don't know as much as y'all do. I'm just talking from what I know from the past few months. But with all the advice that comes my way, I think the only thing that I can do is continue to focus on JavaScript fundamentals, continue the front end mentor path, and after that go to React and then try to build my first big project. I think that seems pretty decent to me, and it got me, it's keeping me being consistent. It's keeping me interested in web development. I don't know if it's the best path or the fastest path or what the speed is, but the idea of going in, studying, doing word problems, doing front end mentor. And then what I like about front end mentor is that on front end mentor, they don't tell you how to build these things. They don't tell you how to build those things. They might say, hold on, we can go to the hardest. Like, say for instance, this is a personal finance application. This is a product feedback application that you can build. They don't tell you how to do any of it. They just say, hey, here's the colors, here's the layout, here's the functionality that we want. Go ahead and build it. So that's what I like about front end mentor. So not only do I get courses, I get the structured feeling of a course, but when it comes to front end mentor, I get this whole, okay, now go test. Yeah, so you can they don't care what you do it in. You can do it in React. I think there's some that actually say React on them. Like, if you go to some of the people that make these, that actually do the solutions, they'll say, yeah, I take notes. I have a notepad right here. Boop. So that's what I was doing when I was figuring out the rest and spread thing. So what I'm saying is, while that's why I created that new suggestions, advice. So y'all can put stuff in advice. Like right here, it's empty. It's waiting. It's waiting for somebody to come in. Because I know I'm not the only one that's going to look at it. There's going to be other people, because people are joining the Discord every day. There's going to be other people that are going to come in, and they're going to be like, okay, this is good advice. And then people want to post their projects, and then we have resources and code snippets and stuff. So I think that's really going to help. Uh, because I don't know about y'all. Every time y'all, every time y'all post something, I read it. Every comment, I read it. Everything that anybody has ever put, I read it, and I Google it. Like y'all see me. Like sometimes people tell me stuff. Ignore that. Sometimes somebody was calling me. One of my friends was calling me bald. He said I look. He said I look like this. Anyway, so uh, I read everything, but sometimes it does feel like information overload. But I don't want y'all to think that I don't, and I'm not grateful. I'm not grateful for the things that y'all are telling me. I'm losing my voice. I don't want y'all to think that I'm ungrateful for the things that y'all are telling me. I'm very grateful, and I think about it all, and I try to implement it, and I look it up. Especially like Taylor has given me some amazing advice. I look at all that. I look at it all. But anyway, tomorrow is a new day. I'm gonna do what y'all tell me to do. I'm gonna start looking up some frameworks. I'm gonna look at Next.js. I'm gonna look at Next.js. I'm gonna look at React. I'm gonna look at some more full stack things and what it would take to build an application like that. I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna look into. I think Taylor was telling me. He said, "I'm what you cooking?" I cooked some stuff today. I cooked a very hood meal, but that's the one thing I want y'all to like take away from this is that y'all telling me I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look into it. Uh, I guess I'm gonna have to look up Tailwind. My heart. I just hate the way that Tailwind looks. I saw my friend using Tailwind and he still couldn't center a div, and I was like, oh, oh, friend. Oh, you cooking the X? Oh, hell yeah. I'm gonna do them too. I'm gonna do them all. I will do all of them. Especially if GitHub decides to act right. Are you gonna act right? GitHub is still not acting right. Whatever. I'm gonna have to reset my router. So anyway, this is probably the longest stream I've done. I'm probably gonna get inside of that bed, turn on this right here, and I'm gonna chill. I already swept and mopped, and Tailwind and OneCSS are very popular libraries professionally because it makes things very consistent. I do not solve leak. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. I do not solve leak code problems. I feel some type of way about leak code problems. I feel like leak code problems are good, but I feel like they're completely divorced from the reality of what's going on. Like, I don't know if y'all noticed, but I used to work on F-16, C-130s, and HC-130s, right? I was in the Air Force. I was a hydraulics technician. And everything that they taught us had to do with real world application of what we were actually doing on our job. And I don't know if when I'm building a website, I'll be worrying about like binary searches, and I promise you there is an 80% chance you'll have to use them when you get a job. Well, I was wrong. I'm wrong again. So I guess leak code is in my future, isn't it? I think it's a lost battle. Well, that's another thing I gotta add to the list. Somebody said, hold on, you said no, hold on. I promise you there's an 80% chance you'll have to, hold on, what are you talking about? Oh, Tailwind and OneCSS. Okay, all right. Because I have some reservations about leak code. Like, I really do. Like, when I was in the military, they are not exactly useful, but you don't have to memorize them all, just the techniques. Okay, that's fair, the techniques, but I just hate the idea of people grinding leak code and not being able to actually do their job. Like, yay, I can solve all of this stuff, but I can't even do the things that I'm employed to do. I don't know. Again, these are just my thoughts. I'm just a random American in the woods, in the countryside. Right, Malachi? That's fair. That's fair. Binary search algorithm is actually super useful for real world applications, but you can always look it up when you need it. That's true. You need both, unfortunately. Know how to make full stack web apps plus leak code. Fair, 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 fair. So this is what the game plan is going to be. Let's talk about it, my fellow Americans and Europeans and South Americans and Asians and Antarcticans. There is a course that I want to finish. I have about 150 lessons on it. Everything that you saw me Googling today, everything you saw me looking at YouTube had to do with that course. So I want to finish that course because I'm very serious about finishing things. I want to finish that course. I want to finish the path on Front End Mentor. So I should be, I don't know where I'm at, but I'm almost finished. I want to finish this, right? Bam, bam, bam. Almost finished with that. Then I go to web accessibility, advanced CSS techniques, JavaScript frameworks and libraries. Because this has kind of pushed me into different JavaScript concepts and different CSS stuff. So I usually go here, and once it starts talking about React, I'll probably be like, okay, well, let me learn about this. Oh Lord, they should focus on projects more. I'm not gonna fight against it, but my God. Yeah. All right. So that's where we are. I'm tired. We had a full day, right, Malachi? We had a full day, right? And now we are going to go to sleep. And I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. And I will see y'all later. As always, thank all of y'all. I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all, I sound like a YouTuber, but I'm going to say it. Like and subscribe. What's the point of watching me and not being subscribed? Do it for him. Do it for Malachi. Right, Malachi? Do it for us. All right. Okay. Bye. Bye.